Girl, when I tell you that my neck is sore, I woke up with a sore neck, and I'm trying to think we're gonna try and get after this sore neck. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
t Me too, and it's on my left side today.
Oh, all right. But I'm still a princess of positivity. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to Getting to After. I, I am Chantal Morrison, your host. I am the princess of positivity. I do believe that you can release your negativity so your positive can reign in your brain, in your business, in your big, beautiful life. There is no shelf life on your healing. Midlife is the perfect time to start exactly where you are. And it's not too late. You didn't get too old. This is where you continue to become. And I want to introduce you to one of my favorite people on the planet. Go ahead, girl, introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Morgan Bustos. I'm an EFT practitioner, and I'm also a life coach. I love being able to help women remember how to get their strength, determination, and grit back into their life. But more importantly, helping them to remember it's okay to have boundaries. It's something that's beautiful and that's needed. So, everybody, welcome to Getting to After.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Being an EFT practitioner with me has been one of the most incredible things this past year and a half since we started deciding that we were going to go all in and get certified. And we've
Mhm.
really been able to help a lot of women to understand that the way that they feel, even in a moment, that it can pass. They can release that. And that's what we're going to be doing today by talking about boundaries. But before we get started, you know how I like to tell a little story sometimes.
Story time with Chatone.
It's story time. I'm going to tell you a little story to talk about what boundaries really are because I think so many times we think boundaries mean I'm throwing up these walls, I'm shutting everybody out, and that's not what they're like. So let me get into this little bit of story time. So picture this. Inside your mind and heart, there's a beautiful little house on the corner. It's cozy inside, your favorite blankets are there, your warmest thoughts. It's basically housing the best version of you. But the front door is wide open. There's no screens, there's no shades, not even a curtain because for so long you didn't know you were allowed to close the doors or block the windows. People walk in with muddy shoes, some take your food without asking, some rearrange your furniture, some bring their noise and leave their trash, and some speak badly about your home while you're standing right in it. Then let's not even go about the mosquitoes. They flying all over the place. You feel yourself hitting, you're getting bitten. And what do? You stand in the doorway apologizing for not having more rooms for them to hang out in. Do you hear no boundaries? One glorious day in the middle of midlife, in the midst of a hot flash and caregiving and body changes and overtiredness, clarity strikes like a crack of lightning. And you realize there's nothing wrong with my windows. I just need to add the screens in. And my door isn't broken. I just haven't been using the locks. That's boundaries. It's a decision to protect your inner home. Let's talk about it.
That resonated with me so much because really boundaries can be really scary for a lot of people. I mean, I know it is for me. It can feel really, really foreign sometimes. But the thing is it doesn't really have to be because boundaries are like one of the most loving things you can give yourself. I mean, I'm just learning this now, over the last couple of years, how important boundaries are and that it's not a punishment. It's really a protection with purpose for ourselves.
Action with purpose. Shut up.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it can feel like conflict and there's a lot of fear around it, but if it is, then this is for you, so keep on listening.
Yeah, I mean, wow, it took me a long time to learn it too. And
Uh-huh.
and I think that when of these things that are hard to learn, I don't know if you completely learn them, especially if you tend to be a people pleaser, which we're not talking about, and we're not going to dismantle and diss the people pleasers. Like somebody's got to be pleasing somebody, right?
Mhm.
It's just, are there boundaries around it? If you're a people pleaser and all your windows and doors are open, then you got a problem, right? Because
Mm.
people have a tendency to trample on people who are givers. So peace begins when the chaos ends. The chaos ends when you close the doors, and lying ends when honesty begins. And a lot of times, this self-reflection, the reason why we're doing these 8 ways to end well, it's about self-reflection. And if you're not being honest that I got a boundary problem, maybe
Mm,
it's not, maybe the other person doesn't have a problem. Maybe they're just being themselves, but we blame them for it. We've been kind of conditioned to be endlessly quiet, endlessly available, understanding everybody, forgiving, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it, but endlessly, nothing endlessly works. So it comes at a cost when you don't develop them.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's something that I had to learn is that having clear, distinct boundaries and strong boundaries are extremely important because I just naturally want to help. I am a people pleaser. Like I naturally have a
Shout out
loving
to the people pleaser.
I naturally
Now,
have like a very loving and giving spirit. So a lot of times, like you mentioned, like I can feel like, why is this person taking advantage of me? But it's not that. It's that I have not made that line in the sand that says you can't do this, right? Right. But it feels wonderful once you get to that point. And it's almost like refusing to grasp for air in a room without oxygen anymore. You know what I mean? You have to learn that there's somewhere else that you can go where you can feel your soul being filled again.
okay, that's crazy because first thing I thought of was, and my daughter's gonna get me on this when she sees this episode. So I don't know if anyone knows that I'm totally addicted to White Collar. Like it's a really old show.
Love
But
that show.
when life gets rough for me, it's either Downton Abbey or White Collar. And there's an episode of White Collar where Nick, is in this room of comic books. They're on some kind of island somewhere or something, and the guy takes all the oxygen from the room. So he has got some like little bout of oxygen. It's like a little cup of oxygen. So it's totally off topic. But I always think of that when I think about anyone who mentions about oxygen not having enough. They
Mhm.
were kind of sharing it, and then they got weaker and weaker and weaker, and they kind of passed out. Thankfully, of course, it's his show, he didn't die. But we can't put ourselves in situations where there's no oxygen and
Mm.
be, why can't I breathe? Because you're
Yeah.
in a room with no oxygen? Because the person with you or the environment around you has sucked all the oxygen out?
Mhm.
So we have to put ourselves in a position to breathe deeply, not just because we believe in deep breaths here, but because that deep breathing is more than just a breath for your lungs. It can
Mm.
be a breath for your life. And without it, there's a tremendous cost that can be paid. And it's not just a cost of money, although sometimes if you don't have good financial boundaries, it can be with
Mhm.
money. And especially if you're vulnerable. Why are we talking about this toward the end of the year? Because sometimes we need to reflect, and at the end of the year is a good time of doing that. How did I do all year? What do I want to leave in 2025 and not carry with me into 2026? Because as we know, the body going to keep score. We stay in relationships and situations that drain you. The body's like, check, check, and eventually there's a checkmate, and you're the one laying over, okay, because you lost, right? Sometimes the mind doesn't catch up until way too late, and so somatically, like our bodies, and I'm really doing some, work. I told you I'm working on myself right now, and
Yeah.
it's amazing that the body will talk to you way before the brain does. But we're so distracted by things, which is why we want you to do this reset, this 8 ways to end well. You may feel a tightness in your chest.
Mhm.
You feel that one? You get that knot in your stomach. Sometimes you feel it like under your skin. You're like, oh, this person or this situation
Oh,
doesn't feel safe.
right?
And I know for you, Morgan, oftentimes it manifests itself as a fog,
Mhm.
where I can know that you're in an unsafe situation. On top of the fact that, of course, we're super connected, but because there's like a fog, and I look for a response, and you're like, oops, it's just not there. That
Okay.
typically means that you're in a situation that may not be safe for you. And so, I think when we sense these things, or we're bracing for something to happen, even when nothing is happening, it's your body trying to get you back, get your equilibrium back. And so when our loyalty is saying, I just try a little harder, it's gonna be okay, you know, but your body's going, but your body, your mind is saying that, the loyalty is saying that, but your body's like,
Mm.
red flag,
Run away.
we're not okay. Alarm, sound the alarm, right?
Right?
That is the feeling that we have. That is the chest, that is the stomach, that's sounding the alarm. So
Mhm.
sometimes there's a place in our lives, and I would say for any woman by the time you get to midlife, where you didn't pay attention, but you did pay the price. And as soon as you collect yourself back to, okay, these are what's most important to me, I build the appropriate walls, balance can return. And I have to shout out one of my coaches from back in the day who told me sometimes you just have to literally, and I think I told you this a couple days ago, build a wall. Like walls are not evil. Walls are not bad. Walls can be wonderful little things, right? Um,
Mhm.
that you build up to protect yourself. And you can make it glass so you can see out, but then fog the glass so they can't see in. Just
Mm,
saying.
mm,
Sometimes it needs to be a one-way wall so that you know to look out first and see, is this a protected situation for me? Is this safe? Do I give this money? Do I give this support? Do I allow this phone call? Do I take this text? Do I take this job? Do I stay at this house or this apartment so that you know when it's time to do something different?
The moment that you actually decide to start honoring your body and your nervous system, you literally feel your body exhale. Like everything. It's just like it feels
Yeah,
so good. You
yeah,
feel it in your shoulders, you can feel it in your chest, your breath, even like my thinking clears up, when I have those boundaries set in place. And then your safety, it just it's just such a reassuring feeling because
yeah,
it restores your clarity.
yeah. And that's the irony because boundaries feel like something that's gonna hold you in, and I think that even the word boundaries, we gotta come up with a different word for it, right? Because
Hmm.
boundaries can feel like they feel restrictive, but
Yeah.
actually inside of boundaries, you can blossom and bloom. That's what I think inside of boundaries. If you think about a plant, it needs a more confined space when it's young. It needs that little pot, and then
Mhm.
it gets transplanted as it grows. Without boundaries, we can end up buried with other people's emotions, buried with other people's drama, and then we get burned out. So walls can be protective, and I love that part.
Mm, mm, mm. Part of the 8 ways to end well too is also to be making sure that we're journaling, right? And so we have a lot of prompts for you. So if you're watching the premiere right now, you can just reflect on them and then come back later, but don't skip the journaling part, okay, you guys? Because it's a really, really important part, especially like we said, we're at the end of 2025, we're going into 2026. We want to make sure that we're clearing all that old stuff out before we move into the next section of our journey.
Yeah.
So if you have just a second, I want you to ask yourselves a couple of questions that I have for you. So, the first one, what truth have I been avoiding because I didn't want to disappoint someone? All of us, right? I don't think there's a single person that doesn't want to disappoint someone else. So, that's a good one to journal on. Number two, where in my life do I keep saying yes when my body whispers no? Oh, right? Wanting to run.
It's a hard one. It's a killer. It's a killer, girl.
You feel it. You feel it. Number three, what will my life feel like if I keep ignoring this boundary? Is there going to be shame attached to it? Is there going to be guilt, insecurities, frustration, anger? There's so much that can be wrapped up into that.
And I just want to say for that one, Morgan, if you don't do any of the other ones, do that one.
Mhm,
If you're like, I don't like to journal, I can't stand it. All right. First of all, remember you can always use your phone, you can record it.
mhm,
Don't miss that one. What will it feel like if I keep ignoring this boundary? We always come back to that with tapping because you will find where your stress lies. You will find where your anxiety lies. You will find where the problem is. If you think about these last two, and I know what your last question is. What will my life feel like if I keep ignoring this boundary? Let you know where you're at. It
yeah.
lets you know where you're stuck and what you don't want. And so many times we do talk about what we don't want, but we don't actually do anything about it. We just complain. I'm
Mhm.
sorry to bear the message. I don't want to be the messenger of that message, but there it is.
It's true because we want to be heard. We have something we have to say. We want to get it off our chest, but what are you actually going to do about it? Are you going to make the needed changes and adjustments or just stay where you're at?
Yep.
So, all right, number four. And what will open up for me if I honor it before the year ends?
Yeah.
So many opportunities, Chaton, can be coming our way if we just open our hands and allow ourselves to receive it. And the thing is, these aren't judgment questions, they're just
Yeah.
clarity questions. That's all, sweetie.
Yeah.
And it's important to make sure that we we take a deep breath,
Yeah.
throughout all of this. Imagine that if you're answering these questions, just breathe through them because it can be intense. A lot can be coming up for you.
Yeah.
But there's no wrong answer. It's just the truth that's coming out.
Thank you. No wrong answer, just the truth. And I think that's the whole thing. We're not here to judge your boundaries. We want you to do that. We want you to look at what you've been doing. We want you to say, okay, I've got a couple weeks left before the end of 2025. Remember, you could take one of these a week. You may have to carry them into 2026. That's okay. But the
Mhm,
thing is to start to think about, what have I been doing? Because the only way that you end well, begin well, have the good middle is by being aware and by amping up your awareness. So
mhm.
I think this idea of boundaries we should tap on. What do you think?
I think that's a great idea right now.
Let's do
Get
that.
us
Let's do that. Yep.
Yeah,
Let's
get us set up for a good journaling session.
yep. Okay. Let's go. Okay, so if you've never tapped with us before, one of the things we want you to do is start by taking a couple of deep breaths. So, Morgan, you can model that for them. So, as I talk to you a little bit about tapping, emotional freedom technique, go ahead and take some deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just try and relax yourself. One of the things that makes tapping so powerful is that you don't have to believe it, you don't have to know what's going on, you don't have to know how it all works. But I will tell you that one of the things we're trying to do is release feelings that aren't working for you, that aren't serving you, while allowing them to coexist with feelings you do want. And so many times we're so busy trying to get rid of the negative, to get rid of the feelings. Even myself, I say release the negativity, but it's so the positivity can reign. That means the positivity is there. We want it to coexist so that you can learn that it's okay. And then we start releasing. All right. So when it comes to boundaries, start thinking about, where are you at in terms of, maybe yours are a slippery slope.
Mhm.
Maybe it's a little stressful for you. Maybe it's something where you're thinking, I don't know how to say no. I don't know how to do that. And by the way, I'll put in the description box below a couple of episodes that may help you, that we've done throughout the year, on saying no, on speaking up for yourself. Before
Mhm.
starting this particular tapping, I am going to use a little bit of essential oil. I'm going to use some lavender. It's a very calming oil. I would just kind of wave it under my nose a little bit. I'm a highly sensitive person. And so basically, if I take just a drop, it may not work for you. You may need to take your oils and have them with a carrier. This particular one is straight lavender. So don't do it if it doesn't work for you, baby. It works for me. All right. And you can just kind of your hands together. And if you don't have an oil, I would still recommend rubbing your hands together a little bit. This really brings energy into you, and it brings kind of blood to the fore a little bit, and somatically this helps you to relax. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to start on what's known as the karate chop point. You can follow along with Morgan. You can repeat after me if you like. You can repeat under your breath. You can repeat out loud, whichever makes you feel good. If you don't want to repeat at all, you can just listen. Repeat in your mind is fine as well. All right, here we go. Even though I've stayed connected to people and situations that drain me,
Even though I've stayed connected to people and situations that drain me,
I deeply honor how hard I was trying to keep the peace.
I deeply honor how hard I was trying to keep the peace.
Even though part of me is scared to create boundaries,
Even though part of me is scared to create boundaries,
another part of me knows I deserve emotional safety.
another part of me knows that I deserve emotional safety.
And even though letting go feels a little uncomfortable,
And even though letting go feels a little uncomfortable,
I can choose to protect the woman I'm becoming.
I can choose to protect the woman that I'm becoming.
And I choose to do that with love, wisdom, and strength.
And I choose to do that with love, wisdom, and strength.
Beautiful. So take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. And we're going to go ahead and get started with our tap. I'm going to start the eyebrow point.
Mhm.
I've been stretched too thin.
I've been stretched too thin.
My body knows it.
My body knows it.
Side of eye. There are places where I gave more than I had.
There's places I gave more than I had.
Under eye. There's moments I said yes when my chest felt tight.
There's moments that I said yes when my chest felt tight.
Under nose. The emotional weight sits on me and I feel it.
The emotional weight sits on me and I feel it.
Chin. Old guilt keeps showing up on my shoulders and my throat.
Old guilt keeps showing up on my shoulders and in my throat.
Collarbone. My body remembers every time I said yes when I should have said no.
My body remembers every time I said yes when I should have said no.
Underarm. I'm allowing this truth to rise to the surface.
I'm allowing this truth to rise to the surface.
I'm allowing this truth to rise to my mind.
I'm allowing this truth to rise to my mind.
Top of head, I see it.
I see it.
I hear it.
I hear it.
I choose to meet it with compassion.
And I choose to meet it with compassion.
Eyebrow point, I notice the old pattern of going quiet.
I notice the old pattern of going quiet.
Side of eye, this urge to be available even when I'm tired.
This urge to be available even when I'm tired.
Under eye, there's a fear in my stomach.
There's fear in my stomach.
Under nose, there's a belief that love means giving everything away.
There's a belief that love means giving everything away.
Chin, the pressure sits heavy in my body.
The pressure sits heavy in my body.
Collarbone, maybe these patterns were passed on to me.
Maybe these patterns were passed on to me.
Underarm, that doesn't mean they belong in my next season.
That doesn't mean they belong in my next season.
Top of head, I honor the me that did her best with what she had.
I honor the me that did the best with what she had.
Yeah. Let's try 2 more rounds, but before we do, let's take a deep breath in. And if you're doing the tapping with us or watching us and you feel some negativity start to rise or some discomfort, that's okay. That's okay. That's what tapping's about. Bring it to the fore, and then we're going to start to release it. Eyebrow point. I let go of holding others' emotions in my chest.
I let go of holding others' emotions in my chest.
Side of eye. I let the pressure soften out of my ribs.
I let the pressure soften out of my ribs.
Under eye, I release the fear of disappointing someone.
I release the fear of disappointing someone.
Under nose, I release the belief that boundaries make me unkind.
I release the belief that making boundaries makes me unkind.
Chin. I loosen the grip around my energy.
I loosen the grip around my energy.
Collarbone. I let go of what drains me.
I let go of what drains me.
Underarm. I let go of what disrupts my peace.
I let go of what disrupts my peace.
Top of head. My body is allowed to set this down.
My body's allowed to set this down.
Okay, one more. Let's talk about our choices. I choose clarity that settles in my heart.
I choose clarity that settles in my heart.
Side of eye. I choose relationships that feel safe in my body.
I choose relationships that feel safe in my body.
Underarm. I choose truth and honesty over people pleasing.
I choose truth and honesty over people pleasing.
Under nose. I choose rest without guilt.
I choose rest without guilt.
Chin. My boundaries feel steady and familiar.
My boundaries feel steady and familiar.
Collarbone. I choose to protect my joy.
I choose to protect my joy.
I choose to let go with grace.
I choose to let go with grace.
I choose myself.
I choose myself.
I choose her gentleness.
I choose her gentleness.
I choose with gentleness.
I choose with gentleness.
I choose myself fully.
I choose myself fully.
Okay, you can gently stop tapping. Just gonna let your arms fall. You're gonna take a deep breath. You can, while you're doing that breath, you might want to just kind of brush down your arms, maybe put a hand over your chest, whatever feels natural for you to do right now with your body. Um, you may need to come back and do this one again and do that. Bookmark it and come back to it. It's one that midlife women need.
Mm.
And go ahead and place a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, the soft part of your belly. Pull the Spanx down if you need to. Be comfortable. Breathe out. All right. I protect the woman I'm becoming.
I protect the woman I'm becoming.
These boundaries are love.
These boundaries are love. Mm.
All right, Morgan, what did you think about that tapping, babes?
I felt that in so many different parts of my body. And then there was a couple of different ones when I was trying to repeat after you, like it didn't even come out. And then I tried again and it didn't come out. I was stuttering through it. So that lets me know that I can go ahead and I can revisit that
Yeah.
in another tapping session so that
I
we can.
mean, me too. I mean, I wrote it. And it doesn't even matter, you know.
Right.
Sometimes I write these, kind of far in advance, and I do that on purpose so that when I'm doing them, they feel fresh, even if I'm in the middle of it. And
Mhm.
for me, same thing. So for you, if you're seeing this in the premiere with us and you didn't have a chance to tap, please come back and revisit it and do it again. It's really, really important. Um, Doing these grounding breaths important. In fact, let me put up this link so that you can know if you want to have your own tapping session. You can do that. You can go to bit.ly/chat-tap. And I also want you to remember too that it's not just tapping like out of the, thank you, Morgan. Let me get some water too, babe. You're right. You're absolutely right. I need some clearing after that.
That was a lot.
I know I forgot to tell you to bring your oil. Doing that with oil really helps. It
Yeah.
really helps, especially if a tough topic or something like that. If you do have another EFT practitioner, um, ask them about oils, ask them about incorporating that. And if you have a different type of therapist or counselor, ask them about incorporating oils because sometimes when you're going through these really high stressful or high anxiety emotions, the
Mhm.
oils really help you to settle yourself. For me, it's key. It's always key. So
Mhm. And then also we like interweaving it throughout your daily life, using the essential oils, like keeping them because they have like even the smaller bottles you can get, like the little travel ones that you can take and consolidate. I had those in my purse, in my car, and like sporadically throughout my life, in
yeah,
designated places, because in the moment in time when you're feeling that little bit of overwhelm, having that in conjunction with the tapping and the breathing, it
it's
immediately
everything. It's
it will
everything.
shift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big shift.
Yeah.
So, thank you for doing that tapping with me. I also want to make sure you guys know that you can still get a copy of the fall magazine where Morgan does a beautiful breathing room exercise with you. And it's exclusive just to those who get the magazine. So you definitely want to get the magazine while it's still available. Aside from that, it's a great gift to give to someone. So you can always let us know if you want to gift the magazine to somebody else because it has so many tappings in there. It's got not just the tappings, the breathing exercises. It's a full magazine for midlife women. It's all for you, about you, by us. And
Yes.
so I know you'd really enjoy that. Morgan, why don't you close us out with a little love note? It's going to be toward the end of the year. We got to spread the love. We got to spread the love. Why don't you
Yes.
go ahead and do that?
Oh, I'd absolutely love to. And this is for all you beautiful women listening. Hear me clearly. Choosing boundaries doesn't make you difficult. It makes you whole. It makes you wise. It makes you honest about what your body can hold and what your soul deserves. You don't have to yell to set boundaries. You can close the door with kindness, and you can love someone from a healthy distance. You can choose peace without apology.
Oh, Marian, thank you for that. That was lovely. I think we have to just such an end with these love notes. I love that because, you know, I don't think we get enough of them. I'm married 36 years. I don't know when the last time I got a love note. I need one. I think it's something we all deserve. It's something we all love. Let me tell you guys, don't miss next week. We are going to be talking about the last 2 ways to end well.
Mm.
And they talk about generosity and money and making peace with your money. And can you do both at the same time? I know a lot of times there's a lot of overspending that happens this time of year. The fake sales will get you.
Mm.
Sometimes them sales is fake. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Um, don't miss going out to gettingtoafter.com. We just released the website about 4 weeks ago. A lot of really cool things are out there.
Yes.
You can always reach out to us. You can get on our mailing list. You can see what we're doing. And you can most likely see us every single week here on Tuesdays at 8 a.m. I will say that probably there's going to be a couple weeks we're not going to be here, but we'll always let you know in advance when we're not going to be here. So we're going to be taking a couple of weeks to rest up and get things moving for 2026. And I'm going to be going away a little bit. So it's going to be interesting. And Morgan's got big stuff happening at the end of the year, but we will be here for the next couple of weeks. We don't want you to miss a beat. Let me let you know how you can join our mail list. There it is. There's a link.
Everybody, we love you. We absolutely enjoy doing this every week. We love you joining. If you haven't had the opportunity, go back and look at some of the previous videos. If like and subscribe, share with a friend, and we'll see you next week.
All right, everybody.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.